Recently, a viewer reached out to me about a sports card IG scam that frankly I'm worried could be more widespread, could actually be a larger problem than what we might think. And so we got to keep our heads on a swivel. We got to be paying attention to this. I will dig in. Stick around. I think it's natural that all of us trying to save money by buying kind of off of sites. You hear about Feebay. Oh man, it's 13% to sell. There's different costs associated with different auction houses and so forth, different payment methods. But there is something to it. There are some forms of protection if we are using a PayPal goods and services. If we're going through kind of a big auction house, there are protections in place in many cases. Well, when we try to save money, a lot of times, and IG has been a popular place to really buy and sell cards. You build up kind of some rapport there, and it's like, man, I'm saving a lot of money buying and selling, depending on which end of it you're on. But today we get a reminder of why we need to be careful. Before I get started, guys, big thanks to ComC.com, channel partner, more than 30 million cards on the site. Everything from sports cards to culture cards, Marvel cards, Stranger Things cards, it's all on ComC.com, so make sure to check them out today. I always describe them as Disneyland for sports card collectors, flippers, and so forth. Definitely check out ComC.com. All right, so essentially how this thing went down. There was 3 potential victims that we know of, and what it was an IG profile that was set up with the eBay account as the profile name. And then the eBay account was linked to this IG account. And so a real eBay seller's link was attached to this IG account. And so this person was trying to pass off as being this eBay seller's IG account, essentially. This eBay seller doesn't have an IG account. And so what they were doing is they were setting up stories of cards that were from their eBay account and marking them down 50% of recent comps, probably to lure people in and to get people interested. And it worked. They had 3 buyers. And so one thing that was interesting, and I'm going to keep everything kind of private just so I'm not putting names of things out there into the world, but the name in the bio was Grant Flenner, which was interesting because GR and FL are part of that eBay seller store ID. And so I think they used Grant Flenner to kind of pass it off as like, oh, this seems legit. There's Grant Flenner, and GR and FL are in this IG account. The seller also offered vouchers, essentially, to other accounts, which were probably them too, like catfish accounts, essentially. And that's when people started to get a little bit weirded out, and they reached out to the eBay account, who then said like, hey, I don't have an IG. But 3 different folks had already paid $400, $650, and $440. I assume what happened here is maybe they paid with like Cash App or maybe Zelle or something, where it's just kind of an instant transfer. Because if you did pay PayPal goods and services, I assume you could just kind of do a return, get your money back, etc. I'm not really sure exactly how the payment methods went down, but one detail that caught one of the buyer's eye was there was actually a shipping label printed, because you'll see this all the time where there's a shipping label that's offered, but then it takes a while for the thing to ship. Like there's no shipping notifications for days and days, and that's basically what was happening. But what was weird to one of these buyers was that the eBay account showed Illinois, but the shipping label showed Florida. So right there it was like, that just feels a little bit weird. And when they had reached out on IG to ask about it, they were immediately blocked, which then caused them to reach out to the eBay account. And the eBay account, of course, the guy that had reached out to me was like, hey, I don't have an IG account. And that's when they knew that they had been scammed. Now, 2 other people, there's 3 total, had kind of been duped here. One of them happened to be a county sheriff in New York. And so once they kind of got figured out, okay, well, there's a few of us that are in this thing, they reached out to this county sheriff, and he was able to actually figure out kind of who this person was, or reach out to them, and I guess scare them enough to where it was like, hey, we won't press charges if you pay everybody back, refund everybody. And it sounds to me like that's exactly what happened, is that person refund everybody to, I suppose, avoid charges or avoid something more serious. But the person that had reached out to me had said, hey, look, these are just the few people that had reached reached out. I mean, there might be some people that were just like, okay, well, I guess I got scammed, or don't know that they got scammed yet or something. And so putting this out there, I think is important, just in case maybe there's other victims, number one, but number two, this is something that could happen pretty easily, I would think. I mean, there might be other people that are trying this particular scam, or looking to try this particular scam if it works. If it's something where you can easily kind of get in and get out, take people's money and run. The one thing I always think of when anyone asks me, hey, can we do like a Cash App? I immediately, the antenna goes up and I'm just like, nah, I don't have a Cash App account, but I am not interested in doing any sort of a deal outside of, eBay or PayPal goods and services, using Cash App or something like that. It just doesn't sit well. It's like, I don't know if I like this. It's almost like, in the older days, it was always like, hey, if someone's asking you for a Western Union wire transfer, it's like the Nigerian prince that sends the email and is like, hey, I just inherited $1 billion, but I just need, I need to know where I can park it. Can I work with you on it? And it's always like, well, I just need you to wire me, this money, and then I can wire, or whatever the hell it is. That's where like the radar goes up. It's like, if I'm going to instantly send you cash, then I better know who you are. So this is something that I just wanted to put it out there. I thought it was great that this guy had reached out to me just to let me know, in case there's other people, like I said, that have been duped, so to speak, or just in case, there's other scams like this that are going on. Maybe they've got a few different accounts running, or they did have a few accounts, or someone saw like, oh, okay, maybe I'll try this too. IG can be a place where you just don't know who anybody is. When we think of identity theft, we always think of like, oh, someone like steals a credit card, or they're using a credit card in your name. You wouldn't think that they've got your eBay ID, your seller account, and then pretending to be you on another site and trying to sell people cards and scamming them out of their money. I mean, that was, now, and again, maybe I'm a newbie and maybe this is something that has been going on for a long time in other forms, but this is something I definitely wanted to bring up. I think it's good to just provide feedback to the community. Guys, let me know your thoughts in the comments. Has something like this happened to you? Trying to buy on Instagram in particular. I think Instagram is a good forum to talk about because it's a popular card forum. People, there's a lot of folks that are on Blowout, but really I think a lot of people have moved from Blowout to IG. IG is kind of the card hub for a lot of people to share cards and to post different stories about things. So IG is very popular for the sports card community. And so we've got to be careful, using these sites to buy and sell. Always good, I think, to go and, check out new cards and learn about different things. And there's, great Instagram lives and that stuff. But if you don't know who you're buying from, be extremely careful, even if they claim to have, someone to vouch for them. Be very careful with that. All right, guys, stay healthy. Stay awesome, and I will talk to you again later.